Welcome back. You should now be signed in and ready to build your own projects. We're going to start by building a personalized name tag. I'll show you a few examples before we begin. Your first line will look similar to the previous code, but this time the main thing we want is a name tag instead of the CodeWorld logo. So type program equals drawing of name tag. You've used a different argument for the drawing of function. When you try to run the program, you'll see an error message. Read the error message and see if you can figure out what's wrong. Here's the error message you should see. Variable not in scope, name tag, picture. What's going on here? In your first code, CodeWorld logo was a special variable that CodeWorld already knows. It's built in. But your name tag is your own. Not in scope is the computer's way of saying it doesn't know that word. It doesn't know the definition for a word you have used. To finish this program, you get to do the exciting work of defining what you mean by the variable name tag. Like at the beginning of class, you will need to be clear and precise about what the drawing of your name tag should look like. We will start by creating a border for your name tag using two new functions, circle and rectangle. Just like the drawing of function that you already used, these functions will associate each input with an output. The inputs for circle and rectangle will be numbers, and the outputs will be pictures that you can use for your name tag. In this next step, we'll define for the computer what name tag means. To define your name tag to be a circle, on a new line of code, write name tag equals circle 5. The circle function has an input that is a number and an output that is a picture of a certain circle. This new line of code must start all the way at the left margin, so the computer knows it's a new equation. Try it now. If you finish, try some different numbers and try to guess what the 5 represents. Here's the circle you should have created, and that number that was the input to the circle function, it's the number that determines how big the circle should be. Specifically, it represents the radius of the circle, which is the distance from the center of the circle to the edge. The larger the radius, the larger your circle. So you've already learned your second function. The function is circle. The input, or argument, can be any number, and the output will be a circle with that number as its radius. If you want your name tag to have a border with straight edges, you can use the rectangle function. The rectangle function needs two numbers as its input, and the output will be a picture of a certain rectangle. Each of the input numbers is also called an argument. So the circle function only had one argument, but rectangle has two. To define your name tag to be a rectangle, change your definition of name tag to this. Name tag equals rectangle parenthesis 10, 5 parenthesis. Try it now and then change one or both numbers to see if you can tell what the two arguments mean. The input, or the two arguments to the rectangle function, are the width and height of the rectangle. The width, or horizontal size, is the first number in the parenthesis. The height, or vertical size, is the second number in the parenthesis. Good job! Now you know 3 functions. But to really make your name tag interesting, you'll need more than one shape. To combine shapes, you'll need an ampersand. To type an ampersand, you hold Shift and press 7 at the same time. This symbol means AND. The ampersand is an example of an operator, which is a symbol used to combine values. In math, you've already used some operators, like plus, to combine numbers. In CodeWorld, the ampersand combines pictures, like different layers, to make one picture with both shapes in it. See if you can put both a circle and a rectangle on your name tag at the same time. You'll need to change your definition of name tag to something like name tag equals circle parenthesis 5 close parenthesis ampersand rectangle 1010. If you finish that, you can try changing the numbers or even adding another circle or square. Now that you've got a nice border, let's add your name. The next function we'll learn is the text function. The text function has an input that is letters or words, and an output that is a picture of those letters or words. There's one more detail though. You'll need quotation marks around the letters or words you want to add, like this. Otherwise, the computer will mistake them for code. You can use the ampersand again to add this picture as a new layer of your name tag. Give it a shot. Here's what you might have come up with. Now it's time to customize your name tag. See if you can create a design that's uniquely yours. Share your ideas with others and show what you can do. Here's a tip. If you've made a complicated design, the equation that defines name tag might be pretty long. Code that says too much on one line can be hard to read, so it could make sense to put the different shapes, your name, the rectangles, and the circles, on different lines. You can start a new line in the middle of the equation. But to tell the computer this isn't a new equation, you need to indent the wrapped lines a little bit. Just a few spaces is fine. It also makes a cleaner coding program if you line up all your functions like this. Remember to save your work in your Unit 1 folder by pressing the Save As button or pressing Ctrl and S. Anytime you want to share your project, create a shareable link by clicking the Share button once the program is running. A screen will pop up with a link. Select the whole link, Ctrl A, which means Ctrl All, copy it, Ctrl C, then paste it with Ctrl V into an email, Facebook post, text message, or whatever you like. Great job!